The first Rocky movie famously ends with boxer Rocky Balboa losing to Apollo Creed by a split decision, but what if Rocky had beaten Apollo? The Rocky franchise consists of 8 movies and many more projects to come, but if Rocky had won against Apollo in the first film, the resulting films would have been very different, both in terms of story and popularity. Apollo Creed beating the Italian Stallion in the first Rocky sets off a domino effect that leads to fame, relationships, death, and more, and here is how it could have all been different if Rocky Balboa had won. Released in 1976, Rocky is a low-budget boxing movie starring then-unknown actor Sylvester Stallone. Although Stallone had to fight to get it made due to a lack of confidence from various studios, the original Rocky was a box office success, making $225 million, $1.07 billion today, on a $960,000 $4.83 million budget. Since then, Rocky has spawned 5 sequels, 2 spin-off films in the Creed series, and has plans for Creed 3 and an upcoming prequel series. Much like the titular boxer from Philadelphia, Sylvester Stallone was given one shot with Rocky, and his persistence has led to the actor becoming a household name. Each film in the Rocky series centers around a big boxing match with a fierce opponent, Apollo Creed in Rocky, a rematch with Apollo in Rocky II, Clubber Lang in Rocky III, Ivan Drago in Rocky IV, and so on. However, the events across the Rocky series are all set into motion by Rocky's initial loss to Apollo Creed. So, here is a breakdown of all the big events in the Rocky series that would have been different if Rocky beat Apollo Creed in the first movie. Rocky beating Apollo completely changes how you see the first movie. Although Rocky Balboa loses to Apollo Creed in the first movie, in terms of the themes of the movie, Rocky is a winner. Rocky's true meaning is about staying on your feet and never giving up. Throughout the film, Rocky refers to slackers, cheats, and bums who refuse to hustle and fight for what they want. However, at the beginning of the film, Rocky is working for loan sharks, is slacking on his training, and drinks with his friends on the street. Throughout the film, Rocky learns about persistence, and the fight with Apollo Creed is the crux of this theme. Even when his trainer, Mickey, tells him to stay down, Rocky gets back up and continues to fight, lasting through all 15 rounds. He fights through the pain and the doubt, and even though Rocky doesn't technically win the ending fight, in his heart, he knows that he won because he never gave up. If Rocky had beaten Apollo Creed, the movie would have been interpreted entirely differently. Instead of being about always getting back up no matter how many times you're pushed down, it would seem like it is saying that you will always win if you try hard enough, the antithesis of Rocky's message. Rocky losing to Apollo Creed by a split decision is perfect for the story that Rocky is trying to tell, and it simply wouldn't have worked any other way. Apollo Creed would get a rematch. But would he win? In Rocky II, Apollo challenges Rocky to a rematch, believing that Rocky lasting 15 rounds were just due to luck. If Rocky had won against Apollo in the first movie, Apollo would still want a rematch with Rocky, but it may have gone way differently. In the rematch, Apollo makes a goal of knocking Rocky out in 2 rounds, but Rocky again lasts until round 15. Apollo is way ahead on points but doesn't want to win by a split decision again, he wants a knockout. Instead of staying back, Apollo ignores his trainer and is aggressive with Rocky, giving Rocky the opportunity to knock Apollo out and win. Apollo's loss in Rocky II is due to his goal of specifically winning by knockout. If Rocky had beaten Apollo in their first fight, Apollo probably would have been fine with winning the rematch by a decision. In this case, Apollo probably would have stayed away in round 15 and would have won the match easily. Rocky II's story would be more like Rocky III. At the beginning of Rocky III, Rocky is fighting weak fighters due to Mickey setting up easier fights. Mickey does this because Rocky has taken 2 severe beatings from Apollo, almost losing his eyesight, and Mickey doesn't want to see Rocky hurt that badly again. On top of that, these easy fights allow Rocky to keep the title of World Heavyweight Champion. While Rocky III would have played out much differently if Apollo lost in Rocky, this element of lower-tier fighters would have probably been in Rocky II. Gaining the champion title after one match with Apollo, Mickey probably would have set up easier matches for Rocky, as he isn't sure that he can hold his own against Creed-tier fighters. Rocky-Adrian's relationship would be different after losing in Rocky. Rocky II follows the boxer and Adrian starting a family, with the couple even having a baby. Rocky Balboa's relationship with Adrian could have played out differently if he had beat Apollo Creed in the first movie, though. While Rocky was met with some fame and wealth after losing to Apollo, beating Creed would have propelled him into even greater fame, as the World Heavyweight Champion title would have given his boxing career even more fuel. It is likely that Rocky wouldn't have been ready to settle down with Adrian just yet if he had won. A big chunk of Rocky II is dedicated to Rocky balancing his family life and boxing, and beating Apollo in their first match would have made his boxing career even more important. Would Mickey Apollo's deaths still happen? The Rocky series kills off Mickey and Apollo in Rocky III and Rocky IV, respectively, and their deaths are a result of the domino effect of Rocky losing to Apollo in the first movie. In Rocky III, Clubber Lang kills Mickey when he shoves the trainer during a fight, causing a heart attack. This fight only starts due to Lang's comments about Rocky being washed up. Rocky is only washed up because he has been fighting weak fighters due to Mickey picking easier opponents. Mickey does this because of the beating Rocky took in Rocky II, and, as mentioned earlier, the Apollo Creed rematch may have ended differently if Rocky had won in the first movie. While it isn't guaranteed, a direct line of causation can be drawn from Rocky losing to Apollo in Rocky to Clubber Lang killing Mickey in Rocky III. In Rocky IV, Apollo Creed dies while fighting Ivan Drago, causing Rocky to challenge Ivan in order to avenge Creed. Although Apollo was once the world heavyweight champion, his boxing career faded after the rematch in Rocky II, with him then becoming Rocky's trainer in Rocky III. When he fights Drago in Rocky IV, Apollo simply isn't in the same shape that he used to be, giving Drago the chance to kill him. Therefore, if Rocky had won in the first movie, the rematch in Rocky II would have gone differently, possibly allowing Apollo to win, continue his career, and be in shape to face off against Drago and make it out alive. The Rocky franchise wouldn't be as good, or exist at all. Nearly every aspect of the Rocky sequels comes about due to Rocky's loss to Apollo in the first movie, meaning that the rest of the series would have been entirely different, if it existed at all. The emotional layer that is brought about due to Rocky's rivalry with Apollo is what many viewers love about the movies, and this element adds a lot of character and thematic purpose to the series, especially in the Creed movies. Rocky losing to Apollo at the end of the first movie is what sets the film apart from the other dime a dozen motivational sports movies, turning the series into something more than a boxing movie. Rocky beating Apollo in the first movie would have definitely caused differences in the franchise, and the Rocky series wouldn't have been nearly as good because of it. Key release dates: Creed III release date, the 3rd of March 2023.
With a gentle touch you tell me